I wanted to get bigger, better abs, and to impress the girls. Well, none of those happened. I lost the abs I had. I created severe body dysmorphia, and I'm addicted to caffeine. That's a nice step down. Basketball, on the other hand, I really enjoyed playing, and I play it still. Like from time to time, I just go shoot some hoops. I played it for quite some time, but I never really got anything special out of it. My calves didn't grow. I was like really insecure kid, skinny as fuck.
Skinny bitch.
I wanted to get bigger, better abs, and to impress the girls. Well, none of those happened. But yeah, that is just how the life goes. You never know in what direction it's gonna get you to. It eventually gets you to a place where you're supposed to be. This week, we're gonna do a little bit of deload and put the intensity a little bit down so that I can kind of rest and recover. But we're still gonna go. So I want to talk a little bit about how I started my bodybuilding journey. As I grew up, I first started playing football. It's not the American football. It's the one that's actually played with your feet. I kind of got influenced into playing that. It's not something that I was good at, but you know, everyone was watching it. Everyone was playing it in my neighborhood, my friends and all that. So I kind of naturally went into that. But the thing is, man, I had like 2 left feet. I was really bad at it. Honestly, I don't feel like that kind of helped me develop any kind of muscle football related, because that was quite a long time ago, like maybe 20 years ago. Damn, that's a little bit of shocker when you can remember something that was 20 years ago. That was quite a long time ago, right? So yeah, even though I trained football, I still have chicken legs. So that didn't really transfer into my leg development, sadly. As I watched football for a long time, like the main character in my football career was of course Ronaldo. First it was the Ronaldo from Brazil, and then Cristiano Ronaldo came, and like he was, in my opinion, still is the best player in the world. Now, Messi fans might not agree with me, but I just think that it's because of his dedication and his way of like working on every single detail to improve himself. That just makes him, for me, the best that ever touched the football field. Okay. Now, as I grew taller, like as puberty hit me, I just switched to basketball. My brother was already very good, and I kind of got that from him. Looking at him, how he played his games and all that, and it motivated me to start as well. Basketball, on the other hand, I really enjoyed playing, and I play it still. Like from time to time, I just go shoot some hoops. I played it for quite some time, but I never really got anything special out of it. My calves didn't grow. I never got any benefit from the sport I trained. Like, you know, that footballers have big legs. I don't have it. Basketball players have strong calves. Nope, not by me. But yeah, I loved playing basketball. I love watching Michael Jordan play. I was still a kid. I don't remember much, but I remember that the way he played, the way he made the game, it's just unrealistic. And of course, he's the best player for me. Again, contrary to popular opinion, which of people thinking that LeBron is one of the best, but I don't know, it's just me. And I still watch basketball from time to time. Last year I was a big Nuggets fan, thanks to Nikola Jokic. You know, he's from Serbia. As Bosnian, I always cheer for my neighborhood countries. Most of the people down there, they just hate each other because of the war, but that's something that was more than 30 years ago. I think it's time that we finally move on. Seeing Novak Djokovic being one of the best players that ever touched the tennis field, and that he's from the same region that I am, it makes my heart grow. Same with Jokic, he's just destroying the game. Ah, my strap gave up. Fuck. I didn't put it correctly and just gave up. So once puberty hit, I switched to Taekwondo. And that's the sport that I really fell in love to. And I feel like it gave me a little bit of discipline, which is transferred now to bodybuilding and dieting and all that. It probably gave me a little bit of strength, as well as six-pack, which is something that I wanted. Apart from that, it gave me good kicking technique. I think that's the time when I was the fittest as far as the cardiovascular health goes, because I could have run for ages. I remember there was a group of us, we were good friends, and we were running together, and we would just run the entire circle around the town. By my calculations, how much could it be? Like maybe around 20 kilometers per day. So every day we ran for 20 kilometers. I was shredded as fuck, but I was small, of course. That's the time when I had a whopping 70 kilos. But I was shredded, I have to admit, but shredded but small. But that's also something that Taekwondo needs from you. So I trained Taekwondo for quite some time. I think it was around 3 years or something like that. And I reached a green belt and had a couple of competitions, but it was mostly in those POMSE, as they call it, so they practically forms you perform. I won 2 competitions, one national, another international, and I wanted to go to fights, and the coach didn't let it because he was afraid I might get hurt, and I soon lost interest. If I can't compete, if I can't measure my progress, then I kind of lose interest in all that. The only thing I regret is not pushing through and reaching that black belt. So after Taekwondo, I was really insecure kid, skinny as fuck.
Skinny bitch.
I wanted to get bigger, better abs, and to impress the girls. Well, none of those happened. I lost the abs I had. I created severe body dysmorphia, and I'm addicted to caffeine. That's a nice step down. This is one of the other sports that I also was influenced in starting. My friend was competing at the time. With him, I just started lifting weights, and I fell in love with it. And we're both still doing bodybuilding, but sadly he's in Austria, I'm in Germany, so we don't get to train as often as we do. But every time we see each other, we just hit and destroy our muscles. Last time I was visiting him in Austria, we did everything, full body workout. It was crazy. Reminded me of those days when we used to train in the basement gym, improvised, and very small gym. But it was lovely. It was one of the best times as far as bodybuilding goes, one of the best times for me. Now, how did each and every one of those sports help me in bodybuilding? Well, honestly, for football, like I said, it was almost 20 years ago. And I didn't train it that long for it to have some effect on me. Could have developed better legs, at least, but dodged the bullet there. As far as basketball goes, I think explosiveness helped me, and endurance helped me then transfer the basketball abilities to my Taekwondo training. And from Taekwondo, I think I've gotten a very good core strength and stability, and I lost all my flexibility as soon as I started training bodybuilding. So maybe I should have continued stretching the way I was during Taekwondo training. It could have benefited me in the long run, but at the time I just wanted to get big. I didn't even know the importance of stretching at the time. I felt like it was useless. Pretty much learned nothing from the sports before me. Well, I did transfer some of the strength and explosiveness and endurance and mental toughness. All that helped me become the bodybuilder I am right now. So yeah, those are the sports that really kind of got me into the bodybuilding. Now, most of them I was influenced in training. Some of those I trained because I loved. Only thing that I regret is not being able to get to the black belt in Taekwondo, because that would have been an achievement. Okay, I've completed this to a certain point. But yeah, that is just how the life goes. You never know in what direction it's gonna get you to. It eventually gets you to a place where you're supposed to be. So that is basically it for today's back day. Yeah, this week we're gonna do a little bit lighter intensity. We are still going close to failure, but not to the extremes, so we're not pushing ourselves that much. It is just a little bit of deload week, just to regain my strength and let my muscles recover a little bit. It really helps to just lay low a little bit from time to time. Now that doesn't mean you should like stop training for a week, but just take a week off, lift a little bit lighter, don't go to complete failure, just do the basic stuff and dial down a little bit on the intensity. And that's gonna help you recompose your body and get ready for the next period of intense training. Because fatigue body just doesn't function as well as the rested one. I've been feeling lately a little bit overwhelmed, and yesterday I just overslept the alarm clock, and that is pretty much the cue for me that it is time to dial down a little bit. So that's why I decided to just make my trainings a little bit less intense. I do 2 sets per exercise, only did 3 for the Lat Pulldowns. Yeah, that's basically the reason why I didn't train as hard as I do. So as far as the other sports go, like I said, football was way too long a time ago, and I don't remember that it's really affected my bodybuilding in any way. And I didn't train it long enough to develop some, I don't know, leg size or something like that. Basketball probably helped me more with Taekwondo rather than bodybuilding. Taekwondo is probably the only sport that's kind of affected my bodybuilding. I had abs for quite a long time, and even now I have like well-developed abs. It's just that they are covered with a good thick layer of fat. And I think that Taekwondo left the biggest impact on my bodybuilding because of that core strength. And when I was starting the gym, the only exercise that I wasn't lacking was anything that has to do with abs. I had a really strong core. I never struggled with ab exercises. On the other side, everything else was insanely hard. And I think also that basketball helped me build a little bit of shoulder width and quite some good conditioning, I can say, on my front delts. I think that kind of transferred into my bodybuilding from basketball, and the remaining parts of the body I just had to work as much as possible. I gotta admit, starting the bodybuilding when I started and going to the gyms in Bosnia as a skinny guy, very skinny guy, it is so challenging. People shame you if you can't bench 100 kilo. They're like, oh, what the fuck you're doing in a gym? Well, I'm trying to get to that point. I'm not intentionally not able to lift the 100 kilos. And there was a lot of bullying in gyms in Bosnia. For me, it was quite intimidating, especially the bigger gyms. First, I started with one of the bigger gyms. It was really like full of dudes. They're probably, if I look at them now, they're probably not that big, but in my eyes, they were huge. They were like Ronnie Coleman and all that shit. And coming into the gym and you see those guys, and especially in Bosnia, you don't have the rules as like in Germany. I mean, in one side you see people deadlifting, they're like, destroying everything. On the other side, you see some boxers on a heavy bag punching it. I mean, all of those guys there, they trained, they worked hard, and after I met them and talked to them, they were quite nice guys, but the rules were not as strict as today. Today, when I go to gym in Bosnia, quite a different story, and it's like top notch and all that. But back in the day, it was a rusty, dusty kind of a gym, and I think that's the reason why I developed a little bit of mental toughness there. But to start and to go in the gym like that with 70 kilos on a 190 centimeter frame, it was intimidating as fuck. And that's why I don't really like when people shame other people who go to the gym. Don't do that, because they probably feel the same way I felt when I started. Maybe you didn't feel, but I felt very intimidated going to the gym. Shaming people because they're trying is not really a nice thing to do. If you can't help them, just don't do anything. That's the story of my bodybuilding career, how it started. Where is it going? We'll see. I hope it leads to a very nice place. I'll see you tomorrow. Tune in for the next workout. Bye.